All right. Well, first of all, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I want to start off by recognizing the principal of the school. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Tamika Taylor Ivory. I'm the Miles Park principal. Thank everybody for coming out this morning.
And young ladies, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Shalonda.
Come on.
My name is Jemiah, and I'm in the 6th grade.
Okay.
My name is Lashati. I'm in the 6th grade.
Okay.
My name is Elisha Green. I'm in the 7th grade.
Okay.
My name is Deisha Shepherd. I'm in the 6th grade.
All righty. Okay, good. You know, and I want to thank the volunteers. Earlier, I had them introduce themselves and what church they were from, and without them, this would not be possible. They've been at this for 2 to 3 months on a daily basis. I don't care if the sun was shining, it was cold outside, raining. They were out conducting this Safe Route to School program, and as and they've been meeting with Freddie Collier from the city as we're fully developing and maturing the program. So I want to thank all the volunteers for the work that they've done. Today we're here to talk about safety. Safety in our neighborhoods and particularly safety around children and safe route to school. As you know, the foreclosure crisis in 2008, primarily 8 and 9, foreclosure crisis and the financial crisis really resulted in a lot of abandonment of properties. And that created a huge safety concern for us. So as a result of that, what we've done from 2006 on, we've put a lot of effort. So this is not new for us in terms of demolition. We put a lot of effort into demolishing abandoned structure. We've done roughly around 9,000 abandoned structures since 2006, at the expense of over $70 million. So it's been significant investment in getting rid of abandonment in the city of Cleveland. Now this is about safe routes to school, however, and we want to make sure that our children are safe going to and from school. So what we've done is we've drawn a perimeter around every K-8 school. Every K-8 school, we've drawn out 500 feet. So we've identified every abandoned property within 500 feet of a K-8 school, and our intent is to tear down all of those abandoned properties by the end of this year, and so that when school starts in the fall, a significant number of those properties will be torn down. But again, this is not this demolition program is not new. If you look at this chart here, this board, this will show you in this area the number of properties that have already been torn down. This program that we're doing now will give us the opportunity to demolish all throughout the city 500 properties. Now this was made possible because of the passage of issue 32, and I always take an opportunity to thank the people of the city of Cleveland for voting for issue 32. That's the 0.5% income tax increase. And what we promised the people for their vote is that we would enhance services to the people of the city of Cleveland. And that has allowed us to do this because we're now able to carve out $5 million out of that enhanced budget that was passed in April, then when money became available. So now we have $5 million additional dollars that we are pouring into this particular program of Safe Route to Schools that will result in 500 abandoned properties to be torn down within 500 feet of K-8 schools this year. That is the purpose of this. But we couldn't do it without partners. And you know, later on, Director Collier would talk about the partnerships that we had in order to make this happen. And he'll also express to you that the developing of the safe route to school wasn't just something that occurred now. It's been going on for a while. And I think we've had a grant or two that has allowed us to do the planning, the coordination, and so now it's coming to fruition. And again, with the passage of issue 32, and thanks again to the people of Cleveland, with that passage, we now have resources that we can put into the demolition portion of the safe route to school. Safety is always a concern, so I'd like Police Chief Williams to come up to talk about the safety concerns and things that he is doing as part of this safe route to school initiative. Chief? Oh, okay.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's a wet, damp day, but it is a good day for us here in the city of Cleveland. As the mayor stated, this is part of a comprehensive plan that's been in the works for quite some time now. Safety, of course, is our paramount concern here in the city of Cleveland, and especially the safety of our young folks. They are the future of this city. They are a great resource that we have to protect, and we want to make sure they're safe to and from school. The Division of Police, City Administration, has for a long time put out the edict that, our safety is a comprehensive, all-in approach. It's not just police, it's not just fire, EMS, it's the entire community. And if you look around us today, you see the entire community involved in this endeavor, which is safe routes to school. The demolition part of it, the escorts, the vigilance of our community partners, the education of our young folks to make sure that they stay safe and stay together en route to school, all that comes together in a comprehensive plan for safety for our kids in school today. So I just want to thank the mayor and Director Collier. They put a lot of work in on this. Division of Police is not the main emphasis in this. It's our community partners and our kids to make sure we come together to keep each other safe. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming out and highlighting this for us, because it is a great program. We're definitely not finished with this, and Director Collier will get into a lot of the weeds of how this program works and the past efforts in getting this program up and running. So I'll bring up Director Collier.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As the mayor and the chief alluded to, this is not a new endeavor, but this is something that has been enhanced by the ingenuity of the community. And together with government and the neighborhood folks and everyone involved, we are able to do something pretty special. And our goal is really to keep this momentum going as we meet throughout the summer and plan for this upcoming school year. But I want to first take time out to give you some background on Safe Routes to School. Safe Routes to School is a national program that the city of Cleveland has been engaged in for the last 24 months. We were able to work with community stakeholders and others, agencies, to develop what we call the Safe Routes to School district-wide travel plan. That document was adopted in October of 2016. Part of the work that you're seeing now is the work around implementation of that. One of the key recommendations in the plan is to identify vacant and abandoned structures, working with our building and housing department and others. So this is a step toward the implementation, as the mayor alluded to. The other piece of this that's really critical is that you cannot do implementation unless you have all hands on deck. And I think that that's been demonstrated here today. And as we continue to work and advance this initiative, we believe that we're going to create a robust program that could potentially become a national model. The other aspect of this Safe Routes to School program is really the resources, both human and fiscal, that go into this. The mayor alluded to some of the resources that the city is putting to bear, which is very substantial. However, we've also received grants over the past couple of years from some key agency partners, such as NOACA, the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, ODOT, the Ohio Department of Transportation. We're also working with the Cleveland Police Foundation, who's represented by Angela Bennett, who's here. And we also have been working with our Community Development Corporation partners who are also key on the ground and are able to touch our schools and touch our kids. So this is a high-touch initiative. And I do also want to emphasize that this is not a feel-good initiative. The mayor hosts an annual walk every year, and we did not or could not get this much media out for that. But here we are today in the wake of Aliana DeFries's death. And it's unfortunate sometimes that tragedy makes people step up to the plate. But together, we're going to advance this. We're going to make sure that our communities are safe. We're going to make sure that our kids are safe. And a lot of these parents who may not have a choice but to drop their kids off at a bus stop or walk their kids to school, or their kids may be in a situation where they don't have a choice, we are filling that gap. And it's a part of our job as community stakeholders to step up to the plate. I also want to call out Bishop Tony Minor. And Bishop Tony Minor, his passion and desire, and the passion and desire of the pastors to really step up was inspiring. And I think today you're seeing the results of preparation meeting opportunity. And I'm really grateful for everyone who's here. I'm really thankful for the principal, and I'd like to acknowledge Marka Fields, Karen Lopez, and our Safe Routes to School coordinator, Callie Mersman, who has really been doing all of the work behind the scenes, helping to make this go. So thank you very much, and I'm going to turn it over to Chief Deskins. Thank you.
Again, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you all came out. Some of you may ask, how does the Chief of Prevention, Intervention, and Opportunity for Youth have a role to play in this process? Actually, it's a vital role because in Mayor Jackson's vision, that what we're doing here today is about trying to rectify the damage that's been done for decades to our neighborhoods and our community. Disinvestment, chronic poverty, buildings and housing that have been found dilapidated. And he has invested, as he said, over the years, efforts to try and revitalize these communities, taking down housing and that was needed taking down. But the effect upon these young people is the thing that you see most. Every day this principal tries and her teachers try so hard and to make an impact on their education. But look around you. This is the kind of toxic stress the mayor spoke about in his state of the city. Things that are scary to young people that may not be scary to us as adults affect their ability to learn. The science is so clear. And what we're doing here is trying to help the principal and help this community to try and understand that taking away structural violence is just as important as reducing crime. And that safety, as I said before when the mayor swore me in, safety means more than the absence of crime. It means the presence of opportunity. And each and every time one of these buildings comes down, there's opportunity available. And as Chief Collier said, none of us would be able to do what we do without the help of so many other people, because it takes a village to raise it, but it also can take a village to destroy a young person. And coming together like we are, we're standing firm and planting a line that says we are committed to the health and welfare of our community and for our young people. And I can't thank you all enough for your support and principal and you young ladies. Thank you.
And Director Donald.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Building and Housing is tasked with identifying these vacant properties and getting them down. And it's not an easy task. This year, thanks to the enhanced services budget, the Department of Building and Housing has $5 million from the general fund to assist in this over 10-year fight to eliminate blighted and nuisance structures in the city of Cleveland. The department is also expected to receive $4 million from the Cuyahoga County Demolition Fund before the end of the year, and $1 million in federal funds from the CDBG funding. Fingers crossed. The Safe Routes to Schools demolition program will focus on over 500 properties that are within 500 feet of the identified safe routes to school that Director Collier mentioned. The department has been working with CMSD for years. This is not anything new. We've been conducting walking audits along the routes that children take to school. When we conducted those walking audits, we identified structures that needed to be boarded and that needed to be condemned, so in the eventuality they could be raised. What you see here today is the culmination of this collaborative effort. This has led to the pipeline of over 500 properties that have been condemned and subsequently approved for demo. To determine the properties along the safe routes, We took the inventory of structures that had already been condemned and approved for demolition to make sure we move expeditiously in addressing these hazards that our children have to face in walking to school. Keep in mind there is a process in which the city has to follow to abate a nuisance and raise a structure. For a normal demolition, a search warrant is issued, obtained by our inspectors and signed by a housing court judge. An initial inspection is conducted to identify code issues and violations. The owner is given time to comply and to fix the issues. If those are not remedied, we proceed with submitting the property to our legal department to make sure that the city has the legal authority to raise the structure. Once a property is legally approved and we decide to move on it, we conduct an asbestos survey, abate the property, and contract for the property to be demolished. From 2006 to 2016, our demolition average is around $10,800. Using this average, that will allow us to approximately raise 500 structures using the $5 million. The Safe Routes to School demolition program is expected to reach almost every ward in the city. Here in the Union Miles neighborhood, we have identified 121 properties that are within 500 feet of a safe route that need to be raised that are approved for demo today. But this initiative is nothing new. As the mayor mentioned, we have almost raised 9,000 structures throughout the city since 2006 and expended $70 million. It has long been a focus of this administration to tackle the vacant property issues that we face in this city. Our focus in this area is also nothing new. Along the East 93rd corridor from Kinsman to Miles, the city has raised 318 properties, while our partner in conquering blight, the Cuyahoga County Land Bank, has raised 229 properties. Coupled with the Safe Routes program, we will continue to focus on properties that have safety threats, frequently boarded, lived in time condemned, and that stem economic development in the area using our other funds. Thanks to the citizens, a big hearty thanks to the citizens for passing issue 32 to give us this extra $5 million this year to continue our long fight towards conquering these vacant, abandoned, and nuisance properties in the city. Thank you.
All right, we'll get to it. I want the young ladies to know this is Director Donald. She's an attorney. She's also the director of our Building and Housing Department. How many people work for you?
About 130, will be 160 after we hire everyone.
And then what is your annual budget?
Around $14 million.
So here's a young lady who oversees 160 something people with a budget over $14 million, and one day you'll be the director of yourself. Okay?
Thank you.
Before we get into questions and answers, I would like all of us will be available to everybody for questions and answers. We all will be, but what will happen is you'll see these three structures will be demolished. So what I would like, if you could position yourself over here, and then the demolition contractor will begin to tear down these three houses. And again, we all will be here we'll all be available for questions. Okay? All right.